All right, what is up? We are live. So before we get going here, let's just go through the rundown. Big Hat William Byron gets win number 6 on the season after leading only 6 laps. Ross Chastain is second. He threw a block late on Bubba Wallace that I don't think Bubba Wallace appreciated, or at least Bubba Wallace's team I don't think appreciated. Bubba Wallace finishes third, of course, after having the late lead. And in his words, he said it himself. He said he choked. I didn't necessarily see that. I felt like the 14 got a good run on him there, Briscoe. And, Briscoe's going to go kamikaze mode at the end of a race anyway. So you had to kind of be expecting that. But I don't know. Did he choose the wrong lane? Now that's up for debate right there. Christopher Bell finishes fourth. Denny Hamlin fifth. The new tires did not pay off for Denny Hamlin. Christopher Bell didn't have a great car, but he made chicken salad out of that particular run. Kevin Harvick, out of nowhere, Kevin Harvick for sixth. Brad Keselowski, great car all day. He ends up seventh. Daniel Suarez gets a nice solid finish in eighth place there. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., unfortunately, these runs are coming too little too late for the 47, but he has had a good playoffs other than the first 2 races. But now his next 2 races, even now that he's knocked out of the playoffs, or the eliminating race in this race, he's had a good run. Chase Briscoe ends up 10th, battling from 2nd to 10th. Chase Briscoe. Chase Elliott finishes 11th. Bad Luck Bowman is in 12th. And Justin Haley, a nice 13th place finish. Of course, so much chaos at the end. A lot of this was jumbled up. But here, let's look at the back of the field, and let's just talk about his entire Cup career. Todd Gilliland there in 35th. He had the tire come off. Austin Dillon also had the wheel come off. Kyle Busch had a tire going down or something. Goes out on the damaged vehicle policy. He finishes 34th. Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs runs into Denny Hamlin on pit road while he was running way too low and ends his day. So that was pretty insane. J.J. Yaley, he brings out that one of those last cautions that started the ensuing chaos. That's the caution that got Larson when Larson went for it and got wrecked. Speaking of which, Kyle Larson, 31st, going for it there at the end, trying to hold his position down low, and the car just snapped loose on him. Eric Jones probably had the second fastest car all day today. He ends up in. He was caught up in one of those late wrecks at the end there. And then, Ryan Blaney, another playoff contender, he finishes 28th. So there you have it. That's the way it looks. And then we'll take a look at the playoff bubble, sort of as it looked as the race ended. They might have updated it here and there, but this is generally what it looks like. Ross Chastain, minus 34 from the lead, minus 38 from the lead is Keselowski. Then Kyle Larson is minus 44. They're all in right now. Kyle Larson is in 8th place. He is 2 points ahead of Bubba Wallace currently, who sits at minus 46 in 9th place. Then there's Tyler Reddick in 10th, Ryan Blaney and Kyle Busch at minus 61, Tyler Reddick at minus 47. So the two 23-11 cars are within a point of each other and within 2 or 3 points of Kyle Larson. And Brad Keselowski has a bit of a cushion there, but Kyle Wallace, Tyler Reddick, all going to be dicing it up for the last spot right there for the next 2 races, which of course are going to be chaos races in Talladega and the Roval. All right, let's jump into the chat and see what you guys want to talk about. I do have a poll question up. Who had the worst race? Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Rick Hendrick for having to wear the big hat, or Eric Jones at 7%. Nope, nobody voting on Rick Hendrick for the big hat there. So that's surprising. The big hat gets a lot of talk, but apparently it's not that hated. Napa Racing fan couldn't be with us, but he did leave this before he left. Also, Texas needs to go back to pre-2017 configuration, make it 1 and 2, like 3 and 4 again. Texas sucks. Wilkesboro should have a point state, and the Rockingham should be the all-star race. I would like to see Rockingham get the all-star. Wilkesboro should have a points race. I do agree with you 100%. And Texas, they can move it around on the schedule. And also, can you just make Texas a night race for the fans? Kyle Busch brought up a good point. Nobody wants to sit in that hot Texas weather, Texas heat, and watch a NASCAR race. It's really just not fair to the fans. You're not giving that chance, the fairest chance to succeed. All things considered, I got to give that race a solid B. It was not good, but great, but decent enough. I thought it was awesome for me personally because I got a lot of content out of it. So there might be 2 or 3 episodes come Monday. It'll be all right. Rest in peace, Jimmy Buffet. Let's see. I'll say 6.2 out of 10. I would go 7. I would go strong 7 to 7.5. But we're in the same ballpark there. I'm with you there, B. Definitely better than last year. Yeah, for sure. Glock says seeing Mr. H in his own big hat was hilarious. Yeah, he's got Rick Hendrick has his own gray big hat. So a lot of people had Rick Hendrick getting win number 300, but most people thought it was going to be Kyle Larson. He dominated a good chunk of that race, and then Bubba Wallace got to the outside of him, and he got too aggressive going in, and he lost the car there. But it ended up working out for Hendrick either way because Big Hat Billy gets the dub. By the way, William Byron, this is probably the quietest 6-win season in NASCAR history. Nobody's talking about William Byron championship. He's got a championship contender. We've talked about Martin Truex at points. We've talked about Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin at points. We've talked about Busher and Roush Fenway, but recently nobody has really said, "Hey, William Byron, he's going to win this thing." He just keeps getting wins and stuff like that. By the way, I was wearing Eric Jones flip-flops. I was wearing the Kyle Busch shirt and the Kyle Larson hat. I got Darian beat because everything I had on, every single one of those drivers I wrecked. So there you go. The Baloney Burger curse. It's real. 100% Glock. That was me. Whoops. Let's see. What up, everyone? I got my new Baloney Burger shirt on. Everyone go buy one. Got a sticker. It's proudly displayed. It says T-Van. So, yeah, if you want to help out the channel, here is... Yeah, I still save it. There it is, the link to the merch. I just posted it right there. Let's see. And appreciate you, T-Van, for rocking the gear. Almost all my predictions came true, except I got second, says Shaw. So there you go. Ross. Yeah, Ross, like I said, Ross is good at this track. And I said it. I did say on the live stream, it would not surprise me if William Byron won this race, and he did win it. So although I picked Kyle Larson to win the race with Kyle Busch as my underdog or whatever, I did say it would not surprise me if William Byron won this race because it was just about time for him to win another one, and he won it in William Byron fashion. Let's go team 24, says I say Kyle, not Cal. Chris Busher gained the most stage points today at plus 16. So there you go. Roush just keeps doing what Roush does. They're working this playoff system pretty well, in my opinion, and a good run from Brad Keselowski as well. Hello, BB. And everyone a little late getting here, says Joshua Jenkins. What a run by the 43 team before the wreck toward the end. Yeah, that 43 car was on rails. He was definitely the second fastest car. I don't know that he had anything for Larson on raw speed, but that, man, Legacy brought a really, really fast number 43 car. Unfortunately, once again, the 42 car looked like it was just like maybe 10 spots off from the 43. So hopefully they can get that closer together next year with the factory support from Toyota because, like they said on the telecast, they do not have any factory support, and they're just sort of winging it right now. Duke Chronic saying Willie Big Hat. Yep, without a doubt. What's up, Shy? Good to see you on here. 24, 17, 19, 11, final four. I like it. I would swap out the 19 with the 5, but that's just me. But I like how you're thinking there, Mark Barnum. I'm not in panic mode yet as a Kyle Larson fan. Let's see. Willie B with the big hat made me giggle. Rick H with the big hat had me rolling with laughter, said Shy. Yeah, without a question. The funniest part about that is forever when you go back to win number 300, like 10 or 20 years from now, when everybody's forgotten this phase, you're going to look at the people will look at this and be like, what is Rick Hendrick wearing? Like, why are they wearing hats that big? That's the funniest part to me because forever in history, you're going to have that big hat on in the team photos. So that to me, that's hilarious. If Bubba won it, don't help a lot, but prolong the agony because the next round he is bottom in points again, says Duke Chronic. Yeah, the way the playoffs are set up, every time it resets, although the win would help him out a little bit, but every time it resets, it's going to be to his disadvantage unless he can reel off a couple of wins or something like that. Willie B, the big hat is cool, says Bumblebee. Yeah, they're like, I want to say 159 or 259. It was some insane price. I looked at them because I kind of wanted to buy one as a gag, but I was like, that's too expensive. I can get some good camera gear for that particular price right there. Will he be taking advantage of this stupid format? Might be his year, says X Dude. Yeah, I mean, you've got to have William Byron in the conversation of the Final Four. I've had him in my Final Four for a while, but like my personal eyeball, not by the numbers. By the numbers, Final Four was who? Not even by the numbers. Even if you go by the numbers in the Final Four, William Byron is there. So. Yeah, so even the one where I had Harvick pick, William Byron was in that Final Four too. So you can't count him out. Bubba can start first and still lose. Bubba sucks, says Mark Barnum. So he's not a Bubba Wallace fan. Darrell Wallace impressed me. I still don't like him though, says Shy. He's he's a good race car driver, but like I said, he's super streaky. He really reminds me a lot of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. before this year when Stenhouse has become consistent, because he's hyper streaky. He can get on a streak where he looks like unbeatable, and then he can get on a streak where he looks like he just doesn't have it. And that's just how it is. But he really reminds me a lot of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. But Wallace has the talent. He's just got to quit being so difficult on himself, says Bumblebee. I don't disagree with you there. I think it's all like in his head. Like, he has just got to have that confidence. It seemed to me like he had the confidence before the race, but then after the race ended, he had gone back into like not having that confidence in himself. Talking about like he said the words himself. He said, "I choked," and I was like, dude, I didn't see anybody choke. I just saw Chase Briscoe doing what Chase Briscoe does, and he just overdrove the corner going for the win. Like, I fully expected that. I'm surprised they didn't wreck, because when I saw Chase Briscoe on the front row, and he hasn't got a win all season, I was like, Chase Briscoe is going to go full kamikaze send here, and he almost did. They made like a little bit of contact, but it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it was going to be. But I fully expected what happened when I saw Chase Briscoe line up on the inside there. Howdy from the Great White North. It was a bit of a meat grinder today, without question. I thought Ross was doomed after the bad pit. He really battled back. Wheels were falling off today. Yeah, there were like a lot of wheel lug nuts or whatever not going on completely, or wheels and tires falling off. There was a lot of wheel and tire issues today. And I don't know if part of it was the heat and part of it were the nerves of the teams, but there were definitely a lot of loose wheels today, and there were definitely a lot of flat tires today. And part of it could have been from all the cautions, too. They might have been running over debris that didn't get picked up or something like that. If Bubba didn't talk, I would probably like him more. But he just says dumb stuff, so self-critical. It comes across as playing the victim to me, says Shot. Like, I think a lot of people think that about a lot of race car drivers. I think you could say that about Denny Hamlin. You could probably, not the self-critical part, but if they just wouldn't talk, you could say it about Kyle Busch at times. Like, there are several drivers you could probably say that about. Like, if they would just be quiet, there would probably be a lot more fan friendly. That was really terrible, but we want drivers with personality, so you can't have it both ways. What was really terrible, what happened to Kyle Busch? He knew something was wrong. Yeah, that was crazy. Like, it happened so early in the race, and so much drama happened in between that, you kind of forget about it. But Kyle Busch did radio in and say, I think I've got something wrong with the car, and he wanted to sort of pit, and Randall Burnett said, nah, stay out there, let's ride it out. And they were going to ride it out. And then, Kyle Busch even said within a lap or two of him saying, I'm just going to ride it out, like, it just snapped loose on him. So definitely a bizarre situation there. But, he's going for it. Either way, if he pits and gets it fixed, what if they can't fix it? Either way that it happens, he's going to be in the same position that he's in right here, in my opinion. Baloney Burger Big Hat says, Shy, get them to sponsor you, BB, then it's free. We'll see how that works out. I don't have like a business manager or anything like that, so I'll call them up and see what's up. I doubt they give me one for free though. They are really cool though, man. They're awesome. Sample at Joe Sample Flat Tire says Bumblebee, talking about Kyle Busch. I hate to say it, but Bubba Wallace is a clown, says Joe Sample. Cody Ledger, Josefa still got another top 20. Tear down Texas and start over. Not another Atlanta, though. Hopefully the April date gives them time to reconfigure over a year or so. Temperature is not valid. Temperature is not valid. Could run night. That's what I'm thinking, Cody. I think if they just run it at night, that would help for sure from the fan perspective. And also, I think if they just reconfigure turns 1 and 2, that would probably help out a lot too. Lack of consistency is going to cost Kyle Busch this year. It's either going to cost him or save him. Like, if he gets another win, like it's just the playoffs. Like, it can go either way. In the playoffs, you don't necessarily have to be consistent. You just need to win. So if he can get a win, we've seen him get 3 wins early in the season. Like, if he could get another win here late in the season, get on another heater like he started the season out with. You just never know. It's the playoffs. It's crazy. But Talladega and the Roval are going to be interesting for a lot of drivers. It takes 5 full seasons or more to become a regular winner, says Duke Chronic. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, especially with this car. This car is just totally different than I think what these guys are used to driving. I still cannot fathom how you cannot get one effing lug nut tight. Go back to 5 lug nuts if it's so hard. For freaking sake, says Shy. Yeah, it does boggle the mind at times, but it's more than just like getting it tight. You have to line up The problem is they're not lining up the tire. It's not getting the lug nut tight. The problem is they're not lining up the tire on the pins. So when the tire is not lined up on the pins, the lug nut can't go all the way. It's not the lug nut necessarily. It's lining up the tire on the pins that is actually the issue, in my opinion. Dang, the 43 was running good today, says Delmar Kaufman. Yeah, that thing was a rocket ship, man. It was so good to see. It was a pretty cool paint job, too. I don't know if you guys like that paint job or not, but I like that silver and blue. I might have gone with a different color, navy blue or something like that, than they had. Maybe a brighter color to really pop on that silver, like a red or a GoPro blue would have looked really good. KFB to the 3, Austin Hill to the 8. Says X dude, that's what a lot of people want, but I don't think Austin Dillon's retiring anytime soon. At least according to him in an interview he gave a couple weeks ago. The tire thing ticks me off. It's unacceptable. Talking about the loose wheels and lug nuts and stuff with just one lug nut. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it pisses off a lot of drivers and probably crew members too. Willie B, add to my bank account. Bubba Wallace jokes. Great Sunday, says Joseph Wooten. Willie B, without question. So you won betting on Willie B. So congrats on getting that money right there. Cowboys suck, says Joshua Jenkins. They're just talking about the city of Dallas. It's not actually the Cowboys themselves that they were talking about there. It's a company out of Detroit. It started out as Detroit versus everybody. Now they're just going to other areas, and this was one of the ones that they promoted today. So hopefully when they go to another big city, we'll see another versus everybody when they go. Maybe it'll be Phoenix versus everybody or something like that at Phoenix. Jackman is too quick on the drop is why the wheels are getting loose. The tire carrier is not getting the tire seated on the hub right, says Mark Barnum. So, yeah, there you go. That could be part of the problem why they're not getting them seated. But it's not even the one lug nut. It's just getting the tire seated on those pegs. And if they're dropping the jack too soon, that's definitely an issue. You cannot get one lug nut tight, then fire the tire carrier and the wheel tightener and the jack man there, Shad. Just take them to task, brother. It's a great day when them Cowboys get beat, says Thomas Haywood. I feel less pins would make it easier to set the tire. Probably, like if you just had like 2 pins to lock them in or just 1 pin and a bunch of chances to get that thing on there. Let's see. Is it just me or does it seem like NASCAR is taking longer and longer to clean up the track? Yeah, I feel like the bits of these carbon fiber pieces maybe are shattering and you're just getting more debris. But yeah, definitely a lot of caution laps to clean stuff up. Shaw says, you're fired, I'm fired. We're all fired. Laughing my butt off, says Shaw. The Bubba hate is really getting old. Bubba choked. Bubba is a clown. Well, Mark Martin fan for life. Bubba's the one that said that. Bubba is a clown. He wasn't the driver that had a dominant car and spun himself out. He ran up front all day and out-qualified everyone. Yeah, I'm not saying Bubba choked. I'm saying Bubba shouldn't have said Bubba choked because he is going to feed into the haters more or less. Yeah, he had a good run today, and he did what he had to do. Like he got himself, like he started in a deep playoff deficit. He is now only -2 to the cut line, so he did what he had to do today. And he's got a track in Talladega coming up that he's really good at, so it's lining up good for him. Like that's what I'm saying. He needs to stop being down on himself, and he needs to just get that self-confidence that he had basically pre-race coming into this race, because that's going to suit him better than what is suiting now. But I understand what you're saying about the Bubba haters, but that's the thing about polarizing personalities in motorsports. Like, that's just the way it is. Like, people are not going to stop talking about Denny Hamlin. People are not going to stop talking about Joey Logano. They're not going to stop talking about Kyle Larson, and they're not going to stop talking about Bubba Wallace and Kyle Busch, so on and so forth. It's just the way it is. Mark Martin fan, 100% agree. Says Bumblebee, congrats to Willie B. Like Richard Petty said, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. That's a fact. Bubba's post-race interview was not good. His attitude and positivity need to change, in my opinion. Yeah, he just needs to get some more confidence back in himself because he had a good run today. You can't like beat yourself up. And I know he wants to win every single race, just like every other race car driver. But if he can lower the highs and raise up the lows and just sort of get a little more even keel and not be so hard on himself, I think it would benefit him, in my opinion, as a race car driver. But what do I know? He's got more cup wins than me. That 5 car was fast, says Roofer. Yeah, for sure. Another fast car by the 5 team. Unfortunately, couldn't finish it off. He got a little aggressive with the gas there and spun himself out. The 20s pit crew was used to Ty Gibbs all year. Now they're pitting driver, says Duke Chronic. Yeah, so that's the gamble when you switch pit crews like the 54 and the 20 did. You always run that risk. What do you think Denny Hamlin's going to say to Ty Gibbs in the meeting? Says Joe Sample. Well, look, Ty Gibbs already said in the interview, he said, look, it's my fault. He said he screwed up, and that's all. even though the cars were going around, I could make out that much of the interview there. So I don't think there will be too much. I mean, Denny Hamlin's probably not happy about it, but I don't think too much will be made about it. Lug nuts, go back to the basics, NASCAR. There's a lot of people that want the 5 lug nuts back. There's no question about that. Larson sure knows how to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, says X Dude. Yeah, pretty much. Shout out to JJ Yaley for the assist there, or whoever wrecked. Right, I think it was JJ Yaley. The cleanup takes so long because when the wheels fall off, the brakes are coming off too. Austin Dillon had pieces flying all over. Yeah, that's part of this new car. Like the old car was mostly sheet metal, so it didn't happen like that. This new car with the composite bits, they shatter, and when they shatter, it's a lot of stuff to pick up. Bubba didn't win, so we all win, says Glenn Pillar. So he's not a Bubba fan. Taylor getting it done, says Mark Barnum. So check that out right there, where if you want to, where Mark just posted that. Let me see here. They need to change the hub assembly and make it simple, like it is on Indy cars. That might help. There's more resembles a supercar, because I was watching an old supercar, at least the old supercars from 2014. I was watching the 2014 supercars race. And that's what it looks like over there. I would like to see actual rear ends with 5 lug nuts again, like on my stock vehicle. This plastic sports car disappoints me, says Shaw. So yeah, that's they're going to make it more like actual street cars, but they're doing stuff that's like anti-street car, like the 1 lug nut. So it's all dog and pony show. The 5 and 43 and 11 were the top 3 cars on speed, and Dallas sucks, but not the 43. Edition. Jones Boy was fast. Yeah, it was a good day for Legacy Motor Club until the very end. Although Carson Hocevar, I think, got a 16th or something like that. So not a terrible day for the 42, but not the day that they were really probably deserving of. Bubba and Booty have a lot to build on for this round, says Dustin Walker. Yeah, for sure, without question. They did what they need. Like, they might not be happy with the outcome because they wanted to win the race, but they didn't have the car that was capable of winning the race. They almost had one fall into their lap. But they still need to be happy about this day because they got the finish they needed to advance their team, or at least help advance their team to the next level, to the next round, because they pulled themselves out of that big deficit that they started this round out with. Now they're only -2. I like that 100% of Penske is behind the 12 or Ryan Blaney for the rest of the season, says Duke Chronic. Yeah, it looked like he was actually going to have a good day too until he gets caught up in one of those late wrecks as well. So, yeah, they definitely you can tell definitely all of the good stuff is going into the 12 car because he was quite a bit faster than the other Penske cars. There's no doubt about that. And that is good strategy from Penske. Or copy IndyCar and put hydraulic jacks in the car and put one person on each wheel. Likely need to slow pit speeds a hair, but definitely doable, says Cody. I mean, that's something because they've already got that in IMSA, so that's something that NASCAR has a lot of experience with because NASCAR basically owns them. So Truex hanging on by the skin of their teeth, says Glenn Pillar. He has not had a good playoffs, but that being said, anything can happen at any time. I was amazed Gibbs made such a bone. It was stupid. I will not lie about that. That was one of the dumber things I've seen on pit road. Ty Gibbs this is one of those moments where Ty Gibbs has done so good this rookie season. That's definitely a rookie mistake he made there, though. So rookie year, you expect stuff like that, but he just hasn't made too many of them. So it's kind of shocking, but kind of not, because at the end of the day, he is still a rookie. So it is what it is. Shoot for perfection, settle for excellence, says Roofer. I think that Kyle Busch and Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace and Ryan Blaney won't be in the next round Sunday, says Sean Michael Miner. So, yeah, it's Talladega is going to just like this race changed the complexion of the playoffs. Talladega is also going to change the complexion of the playoffs. And then, of course, the Roval, everybody, a lot of people are going to be in Hail Mary mode. So we'll see. And Jenna, sorry. Yep. Every article of race car driver clothing I was wearing today, they all wrecked. So I feel your pain there. Bummed out, of course, that Jenna is bummed out, of course, that Kyle Busch wrecked early. What is up with Truex? Just doesn't appear to have speed or luck. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the car right now. I'm with you, Jenna, says Super Roofer. I'm not a big Bubba fan. I really don't care about him, says Shaw. I don't care about him one way or the other either. But he is definitely polarizing. Like, I don't like him. I don't necessarily hate him. But it's super funny how he is just like so polarizing, and he's won like what 2 or 3 races, but he's still super polarizing. I kind of like Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain super polarizing. He's only won 2 or 3 races. So it's always funny which driver sets people off. I want to go back to 5 lug nuts, but keep them the same size of the single lug, says X Dude. The segment points will help Bubba so much, says Duke Chronic. Yeah, but I think he only got a few of those because he didn't actually win a segment. If you go back and look at it, because remember he pitted right before one of those segments. I don't know what he did in the second segment. He might have got 2 or 3 points there. I jinxed Kyle Busch, but RCR is way behind the game lately. Xfinity and Cup, they actually had both of their cars were good today. One of them, apparently Kyle Busch just had a flat tire, and the other one, Austin Dillon, they just didn't get the tire actually secured on the wheel. So the cars were fast today. They just didn't get the results they wanted. So, but I do agree with you. They are a little bit off compared to how they started the season. BB, do you think the 24 goes into Phoenix research mode? Oh yeah, heck yeah! I would be in Phoenix research mode for the next 2 races. Or you think they focus on the round of 8 tracks? Nah, Phoenix for sure. I wouldn't even worry about the next 2 races if I'm William Byron. Thank you, Roofer, says Jenna. Elite. Oh yeah, it was a terrible day, dude. Like I can't even. It's like every time he's got the lead, dude. There's some random caution at the end, and just the end of this race reminded me of like an Xfinity or a Truck Series race. Just caution after caution after caution. I was like, ugh. It is what it is, though. Bubba definitely jumped the restart right before the Larson. Not have. I didn't really look at that. Austin, he didn't get penalized for it, so I mean that's all I can say to you there. Austin Dillon needs to leave. He's won 4 races in 7 years. William Byron 10 already, says Thomas Haywood. Big difference is William Byron is sitting in Hendrick equipment, so it's not necessarily apples to apples there. I would love to see Ryan Newman do a 1-year deal with RCR in the 3 car. I think he would do really well. He definitely did really well in RCR equipment. He almost won a championship in 2014, so we know he'll be good there. There's no question about that. Hey, EP 29 says Roofer. Ryan Newman's time has passed. I don't know about all that. He's still pretty good in modifieds and stuff like that. Larson on the cut playoff line, proves the playoff format sucks. Says one wise guy. I don't disagree with you. I hate the playoffs myself. But if you like the playoffs, more power to you. Don't worry about my opinion. Make your own decision about what you like. Don't worry about what I think. Larson definitely had the car to beat, sadly. They beat themselves, as so many did today, said Glenn Pillar. Yep, a lot of people shot themselves in the foot today. There's no question about that. Also, I noticed we had the obligatory Rick Racing BS incident, says Ryan Fussner. Yeah, without question. We had 2 of them, one for Gilliland and one for J.J. Yaley. The J.J. Yaley one, of course, cost Kyle Larson the win. Still reeling from that one personally. I hope someone breaks the system. I can't stand the playoff format. I'm not a big playoff format fan myself. Larson just got pulled around by the air. Yeah, not a thing you can do except design a real car. Go to a dealership, put in a roll cage, slap a tweak drivetrain, and make it a stock car again. Says Shaw. I would love it. I'm all cried out, says Jenna. Oh, that's all good. You got ignorant spelling. I get a D grade, says Shaw. Andrew Johnson says, Bubba had a great day, and people need to drop the hate. Dude has stepped up in a big way. Yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. They did exactly what they needed to do. Obviously, he wanted to get the win, but he didn't have the fastest car all day. He was kind of almost gifted the position at the end with all of the chaos that ensued when the Kyle Larson wreck happened and all that, with the late strategy with him not taking tires, Larson not taking tires. And I get disappointment, but you can't get out of the car and say that you choked. Like, you didn't choke. You did what you needed to do today. And I don't know. He gets so down on himself. And to me, like, if he could just even it out, not get too high, not get too low, if he could just even it out, I think that would benefit him a lot as a race car driver. That being said, he's only been in the Cup season for, 5 or 6 years? So he is far from his peak. But like I said, he really reminds me a lot of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He can look like a world beater, and then he can look like, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So it is what it is. Under the Ladford system, Hamlin takes the points lead. Second is Truex with 42. Third is Buescher, and fourth is Bell. Fifth is Keselowski, and sixth is Byron's. There you go. There is your Ladford system. Hamlin has finally jumped into the points lead over Martin Truex Jr. Dega will be lucky to have 10% finishing on the lead lap, says Glenn Pillar. I don't necessarily disagree with that. Because it's going to be so much pressure there. So many guys are in a hole and are going to be going for it. Seahawks won, though, says Jenna Allison. Hey, there you go. You Seahawks won. Raiders draw first blood, says Mark Barnum. So it looks like the Raiders have scored there. Elite Precision. Oh, yeah. If you want to check out Elite's channel, check it out. Stupid Roofer has just dropped it right there. I need to go back to the old point system, do away with the playoff system, go to 36 points race system. Who accumulates the most points at the end of 36 races wins the championship. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think the system can be tweaked, but I do like a season-long point system of some sort. Break the playoff bubble points to the Final Four, then wins the championship with a top 10 finish, says Mark Martin, fan for life. Oh, man, that would so many people's heads would explode if he won the championship. Bubbles has definitely stepped it up. I think MJ is having a positive effect on him. I love him or hate him. He's good for the sport. Look, anybody that is that polarizing without question is good for the sport because you're going to either love them or hate them. Same thing with Denny Hamlin. You either love them or hate them. Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, so on, so forth. Landon Huffman ran out of gas and talent at Martinsville, says Thomas Haywood. Shout out to Trevor Ward. So Trevor Ward won the Martinsville race in the late model deal. Good dude. I helped him out one time at Carteret County. So him and the boys. Congrats to you. And cheers, big win for Trevor Ward. Forrest Reynolds is the chassis manufacturer. I don't know who builds his engines off the top of my head, but shout out and congratulations to him. At least that's who I think won. At least according to Race Monitor, I think that's who won. All the Toyota. I didn't get a chance to see the race, so I know there was some type of controversy at the end, but it's Martinsville. There's always some type of controversy at the end. But good run to Trevor Ward. Where did if anybody knows, where did Bobby McCarty finish? Just curious. Just asking out of curiosity. All the Toyotas have been really good. Summertime, says Duke Chronic. Yeah, Toyota has been on a roll. Good point there, Duke Chronic. BD fan for life. Appreciate you, Jenna Allison. Toyota has been on a roll since I would say the second half of the season. Them and Ford, Chevrolet started off strong, but then probably second half of the season, I feel like Ford and Toyota have kind of taken off, especially with the emergence of Roush. America was rooting for Martin Truex Jr. today, says Roofer. Man, Truex car was trashed after that bump. Yeah, so he did get some front end damage, and that's probably what happened to him. Champion usually has won the final race, says Duke Chronic. Busch was quiet. I had a word for the crew chief, said Sharitha Cooper. Randall Burnett telling him to stay out. He was messed up either way, so it is what it is on that deal. But yeah, definitely not a good day for Kyle Busch, without question. So Ryan Truex Jr. Got a full-time ride next year. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to look at that. Ward won. Bobby blew a motor, says Thomas Haywood. Bobby blew the motor. So there you go. I hate that for him and Marcus Richmond. RNS Chassis is the chassis builder for Bobby McCarty there, which is Marcus Richmond, former crew chief for so many people. He was Ty Dillon in the Truck Series. I think he did Noah Gregson in the Truck Series. He's been an engineer for a lot of people. Oh my God! Imagine if Bubbles wins the championship. LOL. Pete's gonna lose their minds. I would love that. Says Shy, dude. It like so many people hate Bubba Wallace so much. If he won the championship, it would be such a bad day for them. But it would be such good content. So it is what it is. Anarchy and chaos, says Shy. Bring it. I like Bubba if he would just not be so dramatic. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like everything is so serious all the time. I'm like, come on, dude, you just finished third. It's not that bad, bro. He's a hell of a driver, a very, very talented young man, says Roofer. Yeah, he's definitely a good driver. I've tried to tell people that for a long time. He's super streaky. So like I'm saying, when he's good, he's really good. When he's bad, he's really bad. So he really just reminds me of I don't know, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Eric Almirola can be like that. Austin Dillon to an extent. When Austin Dillon's got it rolling, he looks good. When Austin Dillon's not got it rolling, like Austin Dillon's just had a terrible season this year. I'm talking about previous Austin Dillon seasons. I would like to see a later start time today. The transmission from day to night is a different challenge than 100-degree heat. Says Tim Brace. That would have been really cool. I do agree with you. That would have been super cool. And also it would help out the fans. The fans wouldn't have to pass out from heat. I know somebody's tire changer was cramping up. So one of the tire changers was cramping up from the heat. So it would be beneficial to everybody involved, except for probably TV, and that's why they don't do it. How about we do a points payout similar to F1, where the top half of the finishers get points? Says Chrome Diesel. That's definitely an option for sure. Rowdy fan for life, says Jenna Allison. Denny Sure ran to Ty Gibbs, having a good run. Gee whiz, says Metallica Man. Yeah, Ty Gibbs is taking responsibility for that, by the way. It was, and that being said, he is a rookie, and that was the rookie coming out, but that is one of the craziest, dumbest things I've ever seen on pit road. But yeah, shout out to Ty Gibbs, because this is the first time all season we've actually talked about him being a rookie. The rest of the time we've talked about him, we've talked about how good he's being for a rookie. Today he had a rookie moment, and he'll learn from it. I doubt we'll ever see that again. Really excited about Legacy Motor Club with Toyota next year, especially with speed and performance they have shown here in the last 2 months, says Joshua Jenkins. Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think next year when Eric Jones goes to Toyota, and I don't know how John Hunter is going to adapt to this new car or not, but I think Eric Jones is going to be really good next year. Harvick should go to Trackhouse for one race deal next year and put him in some good equipment, says Joe Sample. That's funny, because I heard a rumor that he was really close to signing with Trackhouse, or Trackhouse was really trying to lure him. So that actually might not be that far away from being a reality. Bubba Wallace says potential. He just needs to get focused, says Roofer. Yeah, that's what I said. This is the first year Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has looked like super focused for the whole season. I think if Bubba Wallace could ever get, not that I keep comparing him with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., but that's just really who he reminds me of. If he can get to that level that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has gotten to this year, then I think even though he's outperforming him, you get what I'm getting at. Just stop being so streaky. Looks like it's going to be a Gibbs Hendrick championship this year, says one wise guy. Don't forget Roush. Roush is still in it. Don't count Roush out. They're kind of being super sneaky sleepers here. I keep wondering as a driver, would I go with a helmet fan or a cool shirt? Apparently, they have to choose one or the other. Me personally, I'd go with a helmet fan, and I would plug in on your side here. So if you get a cool box back there, and you can also snake another one to inside of your suit, so you can have cold air blowing on your suit and in your helmet with the box back there. So that's me personally. That's what I would go with. Rowdy says Sharitha Cooper. Yep, without a doubt. Kyle Busch had a good run going before the tire went down or whatever happened. TV money, one of the necessary evils of sports, says Tim Brace. Without question, without the TV money, it doesn't get as big and as widespread as it is. The other good news is the rest of the races, the rest of the year will be on NBC. I was so upset that Larson choked another win. I could have had a relief, but not worry about wrecking at Dega or the Roval, says Chrome. He was going for the win, and sometimes when you go for the win, that's what happens. That's racing sometimes. It is what it is. He's still 2 points above the cut line. I'm not going in panic mode yet, like a lot of Kyle Larson Nation has gone into. A lot of Kyle Larson Nation is super worried about Talladega. Rowdy Nation says, Roofer, I think I would go for helmet fan and ice pads down my suit. Says Shy, Harvick might be the boss somewhere. Duke Chronic. Oh, without question. I mean, he's going to bring Kevin Harvick racing back. There's no doubt about that. Gibbs and RFK are strong horses. Strong, says Shy. Bubba is good. He's just got to quit getting in his head. Don't overthink it. Just drive. Hendrick has 2 or 4 driver championships. Is all going to the 24 this year. Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think William Byron or Kyle Larson is without a question definitely a good pick to win a championship this year. Hit the thumbs up button. Mr. BB deserves it and has earned it, says Thomas Haywood. It seems Bubba has learned to carry a lame car. Wonders will never cease, says Glenn Filler. Yep, Jenna, it's that simple, says Roofer. I made so many strong predictions about this race, and I went out and got a lottery ticket. No joke, says Shy. Well, I hope it hits for you, my friend. Points, 125 for first, 100 for second, 60 for fourth, 45 for fifth, decreased by 5, 10th to 11th, 14th by 2, 15th to 25th, decrease by 1. So there you go. That is Chrome Diesel's system for the points. HMS sucked, but congratulations on number 300, says like dislike. Yeah, it is. It is pretty big that they got 300. Like I didn't necessarily think we would ever see a team get to that unless it was Petty. But then obviously Petty cooled off since the 90s. Really. Let's see. It ain't that simple, says Jenna. I had the Kyle versus Kyle show. I was way off. Same here, Roofer. I did at least say I could also see William Byron. I at least bailed myself out there. I did say I could at least see I could see William Byron winning this one. So I did leave myself an out there, but I picked one of the two Kyles. No doubt about it. Jamie Schweitzer, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you on here. How did Noah? He ran a late model race somewhere. He ran the Pinty Series in Canada. Not necessarily a late model race. It's more like a they're a cross between our Europe cars. But he ran a Dodge Challenger today. So if you want to read anything into that, he was running the old Dodge Challenger. I don't know where he finished. I was looking for results, but I couldn't find any results anywhere. Is Bubba going to make the next round? Says Jimmy Schweitzer. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Right now, he sits 2 points behind the cutoff line to Kyle Larson. Tyler Reddick is 1 point behind Bubba Wallace, and about 9 points behind him is Ryan Blaney. So Ryan Blaney and Bubba Wallace are separated by 9 points. Bubba Wallace and Kyle Larson are separated by 2 points, according to the NASCAR app. I don't know if they've adjusted it. What do they do now? I don't know. Maybe go back to the pit crew you had all season. It doesn't seem to be working out for them. So yeah, that's part of the gamble when you switch pit crews. Are they used to that driver? So it is what it is. Let's see. Stenhouse Jr. Gets a top 10. Says Keith Risk. Yeah, this is Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s second top 10 in 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Ross did not win, so my lotto ticket is doomed. So I blame Ross. LOL. Well, I mean, Ross Chastain did everything he could to win. Like, I don't think anybody at least in the middle stages in the beginning of this race had Ross Chastain finishing even that high. But he stuck with it like he always does and kept at it. If someone was 25 points behind, a driver can leapfrog by winning. Chrome Diesel, yeah, without question. Talladega's going to be a wild card, and to an extent, so will be the Roval. Roofer, appreciate you there. He posted a link to the merch store, so if you want to purchase a hat, T-shirt, or stickers. And coming soon, there will be tank tops and hoodies. Let's see. If Bubba gets into the next round of 8, he can win at Vegas. Yeah, without a question. The 1.5s, 2311 has basically owned the 1.5s. So you can never count them out at 1.5s. Darrell Wallace wins the championship. Let's bet on that and win billions, says Shy. So there you go. If you want to join Shy and jump on that, that's a long odds dream win. I bet if people jumped on that and he did that, he would have so many more fans. Like if he won a long shot like that, he would have so many. Just like people would be like, "How come you're a Bubba Wallace fan?" Because that guy won me millions with the long shot win. So that would be pretty funny. What happened in Ross's post interview? Did they push a car toward him? What was that? So yeah, if you didn't see the post race interview, I screen grabbed it. Ross Chastain's car. They pushed it behind Ross. There was clearly plenty of room there. And the 23 car, you can take it. It could be nothing. It could be something. To me, it looked like some pettiness because I think the 23 team was upset that Ross Chastain blocked them there at the end of the race so that he could finish second and that they could finish third. Which to me, it was just racing stuff. And they had raced each other pretty hard throughout the race. I was watching it. So I feel like the 23 team was probably just kind of pissed off at Ross. They had the Ross derangement syndrome. And they, while Ross was giving his interview, they backed the car right up into Ross on purpose, in my opinion. And you could see it was on purpose, and Ross knew it was on purpose. And you could see Ross lose his train of thought, and then he couldn't remember what he was saying to the interviewer because he knew what the deal was. More Ross derangement syndrome from the 23 team. Nothing to do with Bubba Wallace. This was the actual team pushing the cars. That was pretty funny. To me, it was funny because it was like ultimate race car pettiness stuff. Like I've been pushing the car in late model stuff, and when we're pushing them into the tech line, some guys will think it's funny to just push it up. I'll be the guy in the back, and the guys behind me will push their car up on top of my back heel, and you'll see them just laughing and cackling because they did it on purpose. It's just some fun ribbon and shit like that we do at the racetrack. But you could tell they were doing it to let Ross know they were displeased with the block. Bubba won Talladega before, says Jamie Schweitzer. Yeah, without a question. Like I'm saying, Bubba's going to another track that's strong for him, so that's why I don't get why he was so bummed out because he did what he had to do today. He decreased his deficit to -2, and he should be focused on building up on that momentum, not getting out of the car and saying I choked today. Like I didn't get that. But I'm sure by the time Talladega comes around, he'll be back pumped up again. If Bubba gets a solid finish next week, I see him getting to the round of 8, says Joshua Jenkins. Oh, without question. Anybody that survives Talladega probably will have a good chance to go into the round 8. Sorry, I was talking about the proposed system. Anyone with 25 back can leapfrog by winning the race. I got you, Chrome Diesel. Bubba Wallace is a great plate racer. He's one of the best, without question. So is Eric Jones. There's a lot of really good. Corey LaJoy, you would actually have to put in there as well. I would love to see M&M's come back. I would love to see M&M's come back for one race, says Joe Sample. That would be pretty cool. So maybe what you have for supper? I had a turkey sandwich, and I sort of had steak right before the race started. Childress had Childress Chevys compared to Hendrick Chevys, apples and oranges today, says Keith Risk, without question. RCR fan for life. They had a bad day, and I'm lit, says Jenna Allison. Yeah, they actually had good cars. RCR cars today were actually good, but then just tire issues, really. Kyle Busch had a flat tire. It looks like, in my opinion, he probably hit something under caution, and the tire started going flat. And Austin Dillon, they just didn't get the lug nut. He was running like 12th or 13th in that first run, and then they just didn't get the tire on there tightly during that pit stop. Yes, one wise guy Jones will be a playoff contender next year. Without question, I agree with Joshua Jenkins. I'm saying round of 8 for Eric Jones next year. Eric Jones will go at least to the round of 8 next year. That's my prediction. How's that for way too early predictions? Duke Chronic, all good. Man, I feel bad for Kyle Busch fans, says NASCAR Collector. It was a rough day. Usually when let's see here. Usually when a guy almost wins, he wins soon after, says Duke Chronic. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Geez, Jenna LOL, says Roofer. Jenna Allison, me too, but RCR has been off their game for the last month. Not sure what RCR is doing, but different, but it's killing them in Xfinity and Cup. Beppis is greater than Conk. Talking about Pepsi is better than Coke, says Ralph Bond, and I do agree with you. The Beppis is much better than the Conk. Let's see here. Bristol Motor Speedway looks like they're building a casino. Oh, that'd be pretty rad. Yes, sir. Let's go. 6th win of the season, 300th for Hendrick Motorsports, says Big Hat Byron. A big win for Big Hat Byron. Appreciate you being on here, Big Hat. Noggin Boss is in the house. I first discovered Bubba Wallace in 2019. He was always kind of there, but now I think he's making some moves and doing pretty well. He's definitely getting better. There's no question about that. RCR program is hurting, says Shaw. What up? Good race for the KFB. Has got to get this downhill slide turned around, whatever it is. I agree with you. Blaney, unfortunately, likely won't make it to the next round. Let's see. Yeah, he's in a hole too. He got in one of those wrecks as well. Kyle's back's against the wall. Time to come out swinging and let's get rowdy. Both Kyle's backs are against the wall, in my opinion. Those HMS cars were nuts today, says Roofer. Larson shit the bed, man. They were the team to beat, says Mike Honcho. I can't disagree with you there at all. RCR prayers, says Jenna Allison. They'll be fine. They brought speed today. They just didn't get the finish they deserved. It wasn't that bad. Is it time for a crew chief shakeup at Penske, says one wise guy? I don't know. If you want to talk about somebody who's really in the freaking dumpster, Penske, they started off the year strong, and they have it's a total shit show over there right now. Like, I don't know where the speed went for the Penske cars. Ryan Blaney was making chicken salad out of it, but that car was not fast either. RCR went from being only bad at short tracks to being bad everywhere. They weren't bad today, though. Like, Kyle Busch was literally running like top 5 when the tire went down. So, like, people saying RCR didn't have speed today, I don't get it. I don't understand what you're talking about because they were fast. Austin Dillon was fast, too. He was running in the top 14 when his tire came off. So, yeah, they had bad finishes, but I don't understand why people are saying they were running bad today because the cars were actually fast. So, I just don't get what I don't get where you're coming from on that one. At the short tracks, I would agree with you. And they have been in a slump since the playoffs started. Under my proposed system, Hamlin is first, second, and Byron is -5. Third is Larson, -104. Fourth is Truex, -120. Fifth is Buescher at -158. So that is where they stand in Chrome Diesel's rankings. Jamie Schweitzer with the super chat. Buy your bologna burger merchandise tonight, says Jamie Schweitzer, and appreciate you. There is the fist bump for the super chat. Thank you, my friend. KB will be fine. Watch out for that 8 car. He's pissed off now, without question. Rowdy fan for life. Rowdy, I have faith, says Jenna and Shaw. Would be pretty cool to see Caterpillar on Kyle's 8 for 2024 season. That would be pretty cool. I would love to see Caterpillar come back. When Kyle Busch gets pissed off, look out, says Roofer. Yeah, so like I said, it's the playoffs. All you need is one win. So nobody's ever really out of it. Larson's on the edge all the time. It will happen to a guy on the edge, says Duke Chronic. I don't understand why Austin Cindric. Yeah, I agree with you, Duke Chronic. He's always he's always going all the way to the limit every lap, just about. I don't understand why Austin Cindric is in the 2. I think Brad was a way better in the seat and the wins. I can tell you that, says NASCAR Collector. They're banking on the future with Austin Cindric, so that's just a call Roger Penske made. I don't know. And obviously, the guy that actually runs Penske or will be running Penske in the future, Tim Cindric, he obviously had some strong say there, I would have to say. BDRC practice and qualify okay, but when it comes time to race, they fall apart on strategies and pits. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying there's speed in the cars. So if they can clean up the other stuff, they've got the speed. That's what I'm getting at, Shaw. Fire people. Says we're going to fire. Me and Shaw are going to fire everybody today, I guess. We're all fired. Everyone's fired until tomorrow. Then you got to go back to work on Monday. Put an old guy in the 3. I would continue the legacy of the good Earnhardt, says Keith Risk. Cindric should retire. Blaroni, says Chrome Diesel, LOL. Stick a fork in 8 at Busch. He's done this year, says Jamie Schweitzer. We'll see about that. I don't know about that quite yet. Byron and Bell now lead everyone with the most top 10. So, yeah, the 2 guys that nobody's really talking about, Christopher Bell and William Byron, they're having pretty good seasons. Which team is getting a front clip change next season? Well, definitely Ford, because they're coming with a new car. So we know Ford is for sure. We'll have to see about the other 2. No clue. Hobby can always surprise, says Shaw. Yeah. Kyle Busch winning the Roval or at Talladega would not at all surprise me. Jenna Allison says Salt. Wait, Ford is coming with a new car. Yeah, they got the new body style of the Mustangs coming next season. They've what's it called, the Dark Horse or something like that. Yeah, they've been hyping it up for like a year and some change now. So yeah, Ford's getting a new nose next season. Kyle B did say he stayed out on his own call, says Shaw. So there you go. Everyone blaming Randall Burnett. It was actually Kyle Busch's call there. Jenna Allison says 8, so going for Rowdy there. Thought it was getting better, says Shaw. Okay, I got you. I predict that Hamlin is going to win the championship this year, says Keith Risk. He's had a good start to it. There's no question about it. And if Kyle Larson gets eliminated this round, that takes out a big competitor because Kyle Larson has had a super good finishing average up until today. Looks kind of like Dinger may go back to Xfinity, says one wise guy. That's what they keep hinting at, but nobody will come right out and say it. So it's going to be interesting to see who actually goes in the other car over there. We know who's in the 31. Now we got to figure out who is going in the 16. Are you high, Jamie? You're going to bet against Kyle Busch. Good luck with that, says Roofer. That's going to be interesting. Can't wait to see the new Mustang nose. Might look a little better than this year. The Mustang now looks expanded, a little kind of spread out. Yeah, for sure. And it'll be interesting to see if it's still as flat in the front as the current one is. It was initially really bad I was initially really mad at Kyle Busch's crew chief, says Shaw. Hamlin will make the Final Four, but lose out on something silly in Phoenix, says Mark Martin fan for life. I mean, it could happen. That's pretty much everybody's story except for one dude that makes the Final Four. Unlike FedEx, I predict Hamlin won't deliver, says one wise guy. Byron is on roll, says RJ. Yeah, this is shaping up to be a William Byron season, just the way everything keeps bouncing his way. Sometimes that's all you need. It's better to be lucky than good all the time, honestly. Rowdy fan for life, says Jenna. GTD Mustang incoming. GTD, I guess, is what they're calling it. My cousin's husband works IT for Penske Truck Leasing in Reading, Pennsylvania, and rumor is he may be selling his truck leasing corporation. Hey, so there you go. He might be looking to downsize later in his career here. Should Miami do the championship 4 again, says NASCAR Collector. I don't know. That's always been a big debate. So that's up to NASCAR. I don't know. I don't care where they have the last race. I've always thought they should rotate the last race of the season, though. I never understood why they didn't do that. Because if you did that, every track would get a chance to host the last race of the season. Mark Martin fan for life. I have always had is FedEx delivery. LOL. Says Shaw. UPS rules. FedEx sucks. Says Shaw. I wish they would move the championship, says one wise guy. I wish they would rotate it for sure. I never bet against Kyle Busch, says Roofer. I kind of want Denny to win it all and stop coming and stop comparing him to Mark Martin. Should the Busch Clash be back at Daytona? I think so, but that's just me. Maybe have two preliminary races to start the season. Bring back Kentucky, says Keith Risk. A lot of people want Kentucky back. You just wait. He will be in the Final Four, says Rowdy Nation. Forever, says Jenna Allison. Should we hold the championship race at the Charlotte Roval, says RJ? Why not? Byron can't just ignore Dega because Byron can just ignore Dega because he's already advanced. Hendrick teams do well there. So do you think the schedule will come out this week? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what's taking them so long to bring out the schedule, just to be totally honest with you. But it looks like, for whatever reason, there's some type of holdup in it. So it's interesting. Going to be interesting to see what happens there. All right. That looks like we have reached the end of the chat. So I will check you guys on Tuesday. I'll start working on some videos for tomorrow. And other than that, have a good Monday. Peace.